Social media platforms and international news outlets are buzzing with speculation about Queen Saleha's royal title. Many people want to know, did Queen Saleha give her royal title to Princess Muneerah? The story has captured widespread interest because it could affect Brunei's royal succession and traditional protocols. The connection between Queen Saleha and Princess Muneerah runs deep, and royal title transfers need a closer look beyond rumors. In this video, I'll reveal the truth behind these claims. It's high time the world understands Brunei's long-standing protocols for royal title transfers. Come along. Queen Saleha's journey as royal consort. Queen Saleha, born on October 7, 1946, in what was once called Brunei Town, and is now Bandar Seri Begawan, has lived a life that seems almost like a fairy tale, though one with its fair share of intrigue and complexity. She was born into the royal family, the daughter of Pengiran Anak Muhammad Alam and Pengiran Anak Besar, with a lineage that could make any historian sit up and pay attention. Her grandfather, he wasn't just anyone. He was the younger brother of the 26th Sultan of Brunei. Imagine having that kind of history woven into your very identity. At just 16 years old, she entered a whole new chapter of her life, stepping into a role that most teenagers wouldn't even dream of, marrying her paternal first cousin, Crown Prince Hassan al-Bolkiah. Their wedding was nothing short of spectacular, a grand affair at Istana Darul Hana on July 28, 1965. And just 2 years later, her life changed again in a monumental way. In October 1967, her father-in-law abdicated the throne, and her husband ascended as the 29th Sultan of Brunei, making her the Raja Isteri, or Queen Consort. What must have been going through her mind as she took on those responsibilities? It's not every day you hear whispers of a reigning queen stepping aside, but that's exactly what people are saying about Queen Saleha. Did she really pass her royal title to Princess Muneerah? And if she did, what does this mean for the royal family and the future of their rule? Get ready for a deep dive into the rumor of the year. You won't want to miss a single detail. Through the years, Queen Saleha has become much more than a symbol of royalty. She's been a force for good in Bruneian society. She's a patron of numerous organizations that aim to uplift women and foster community welfare. Think of the Women's Institute or the Girl Guides Association of Brunei Darussalam. She's been at the forefront of these efforts, setting an example for what it means to use influence and power for a greater cause. She's also involved with the Women's Council of Brunei Darussalam and the Women Graduates Association. These aren't just honorary titles for her, she truly embodies leadership in these areas. And then there's her personal life. The Sultan and Queen Saleha share 6 children, 2 princes and 4 princesses. Despite her royal duties, she's always found ways to pursue her interests. She has a fruit garden and a fish pond, which she personally oversees. How refreshing is that? A queen who finds solace in nature. She also has a bird park and enjoys traditional Bruneian games like pasang and kongkak. And let's not forget badminton. Yes, this queen also enjoys hitting the shuttlecock around. But of course, life in the royal spotlight isn't without its challenges. Over the years, Queen Saleha's position has only strengthened, even as the dynamics of the royal household evolved. When the Sultan married Haja Mariam in 1982 and later Azrinaz Majar in 2005, she remained a constant figure of dignity and grace. It's no wonder she's been recognized with some of the most prestigious honors. She holds the Royal Family Order of the Crown of Brunei, DKMB, and is a senior, Laila Utama, of the Family Order of Brunei, DKY, among other accolades, including the Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah Medal. Through it all, Queen Saleha has stood tall as one of the longest-serving queen consorts in the world. Her influence isn't just ceremonial, it's tangible. She continues to shape Bruneian society through her patronages or contributions to social welfare. And yet, she does it all with an air of quiet confidence, never seeking the limelight but always commanding respect. The role of Princess Muneerah. Isn't it fascinating how every once in a while we come across stories of individuals who seem to embody the perfect balance of tradition and modernity? Take Princess Muneerah Madul Bolkiah, for instance. Born on January 2, 2011, at Istana Nurul Iman In Bandar Seri Begawan, she is the eldest daughter of Crown Prince Al-Muhtadi Billah and Crown Princess Sarah. And yes, she's royalty, but somehow her story doesn't feel like it's confined to the walls of a palace. It feels like one of those coming-of-age tales filled with purpose, creativity, and a touch of whimsy. Isn't that amazing for someone who's just stepping into her teens? She's the second child in her family, nestled between her older brother, Prince Abdul Muntakim, and her younger siblings, Prince Muhammad Ayman and Princess Fatima Az-Zahra Raihanul Bolkiah. You can almost imagine her growing up surrounded by her siblings, sharing inside jokes and probably bossing her younger siblings around just a little, as any big sister does. Now, her education? Oh, it's as impressive as you'd expect from royalty, but it also feels so relatable in parts. Princess Muneerah attends the International School Brunei, ISB, where she's thriving academically while diving headfirst into a variety of extracurricular activities. Here's a thought. How does someone balance studies, arts, and sports all at once, let alone as a young royal? But she does, and she does it beautifully. She's shown her artistic side through piano performances, and not to forget those graceful ballet routines performed at the Art Center foyer of Jerudong International School. But wait, there's more. She recently made a painting for the new EVID campus in Jerudong. But this wasn't just any painting slapped together in an afternoon. She spent a whole month on it, working during evenings and weekends while juggling her studies. Isn't that dedication inspiring? And get this, her artwork had thoughtful symbolism, moving from lighter to stronger colors to reflect growth and development, much like Brunei's own Brew Health project. Her roles and responsibilities reflect a certain grace and maturity that seems beyond her years. Yet, she balances it with the charm and curiosity of youth. It's as if she understands the weight of her royal title but doesn't let it overshadow her individuality. Whether she's engaging in sports, creating art, or embracing her academic journey, Princess Muneerah strikes a balance that's both impressive and relatable. What's going on in the royal palace? Word has it that Queen Saleha might have stepped down, giving her title to Princess Muneerah in a move that's left everyone stunned. But is this groundbreaking news fact or just speculation? And if it's true, what led to such an unexpected decision? Don't go anywhere, because this story has twists and turns that you won't believe. Royal title. Transfer protocols. Centuries of tradition mixed with modern tweaks, all carefully balanced to keep things running smoothly while staying true to Brunei's heritage. Sounds pretty intricate, right? Well, let's dive into it because it's one of those systems that feels both ancient and surprisingly adaptable at the same time. First off, let's talk about the foundation of it all, the traditional practices. Brunei's monarchy works on this very clear, very strict patrilineal succession system. What does that mean? It's all about the bloodline, and not just any bloodline. We're talking about the male line specifically. It's written right there in their constitution, which says that any heir to the throne must be a male, lawfully begotten descendant in the male line of the common ancestor. In other words, if you're not a guy with the right family connections, it's a no-go for you. And when it comes to royal titles, they've got a whole structure for that. The Raja Isteri, or the Queen Consort, is a very prestigious title, but there's a catch. She has to come from the blood of the Sultans of Brunei Darussalam, or from another Malay Muslim ruling house. That's a pretty exclusive club, don't you think? Then there's the Pengiran Isteri, which is reserved for royal wives who don't come from such high-ranking backgrounds. And of course, the Sultan's kids are known as Pengiran Muda, princes, and Pengiran Anak Puteri, princesses. It's all very structured, very clear, no room for guesswork here. But here's where it gets interesting. Even with all these traditions, Brunei's royal system has found a way to move with the times. This modern flexibility shows up in a few ways. For one, financial provisions are now in place to support royal family members, which probably makes sense when you think about the kind of lifestyle they have to maintain. Then, there's the whole issue of multiple consorts, which the system accommodates within the framework of Islamic law. And let's not forget international diplomacy. Royals these days often have to meet certain global expectations, so the system has adjusted to account for that too. It's like they're saying, We'll stick to our roots, but we're not going to get left behind. Smart move, right? The Sultan has to explicitly approve everything, and there's even a council of succession that steps in to confirm major changes. You might be wondering, why so many layers? Well, it's all about stability. They want to make sure that everything is crystal clear and absolutely unshakable. But it doesn't stop there. Verification and documentation are huge parts of the process. Multiple stages are involved, which might sound tedious, but when you're talking about something as important as royal titles, you kind of get why they're so thorough. The Council of Succession, in particular, plays a crucial role here. Their job is to double-check everything, making sure no detail gets overlooked. It's like they're the final safeguard to ensure that Brunei's monarchy stays on course without a hitch. Media, coverage, and speculation. The royal affairs in Brunei are fascinating in so many ways, especially when you dive into the difference between how the local and international media handle them. In Brunei, every single word you read about the royal family has been carefully curated. Why? Well, because the royal family doesn't just play a ceremonial role. They essentially oversee the media world. Whether it's a newspaper, a TV broadcast, or even a radio segment, it's all under their watchful eye. Isn't it interesting how power and narrative control intertwine like that? Now, let's talk rumors and timelines because royal gossip is a universal favorite, right? Back in 1981, things got particularly juicy. Queen Saleha's public role took a back seat when the Sultan married Dayang Haja Mariam. That moment wasn't just personal drama, it set the tone for how Brunei's media would handle royal transitions. Brunei's media nailed it with a blueprint that remains in play today. Structured announcements, precisely timed press releases, and synchronized coverage across all platforms. It's almost like a royal PR masterclass. But here's the kicker. While the local media is orchestrating every word with military precision, international outlets are watching with keen interest. They don't get the same access, of course, but that doesn't stop them from speculating. Have you noticed how global media often loves to focus on the grand, ceremonial aspects of royal life? It's always the glittering crowns, the gold-trimmed palaces, and the elaborate celebrations. But when it comes to the nitty-gritty details of what's really happening behind palace doors, international coverage tends to rely heavily on official statements. Doesn't that make you wonder how much of the story we actually get? Back at home, though, it's a whole different ballgame. The local media in Brunei operates within very clear, very strict boundaries. Self-censorship is the norm, particularly on sensitive topics like politics or religion. And when it comes to royal matters, the approach is almost formulaic. There's no room for investigative journalism here. Instead, everything follows a set framework. Stick to official statements, maintain synchronized messaging across all platforms, and avoid diving too deep. It's all about focusing on the ceremonial and keeping the narrative in line with tradition. Now, here's a question. Have you ever thought about how this structured approach impacts public perception? On one hand, it ensures that everything is handled with the utmost respect for tradition and hierarchy. On the other, it leaves little room for independent analysis. International media might speculate and sensationalize, but at least they offer a different lens, don't they? Local media, on the other hand, plays it safe, which keeps things harmonious but also a little one-dimensional. And then there's the issue of potential title transfers or major changes in the royal household. These are handled with such delicacy that it almost feels ceremonial in itself. Every step and every announcement is carefully choreographed to respect the traditional hierarchies and maintain public trust. It's like walking a tightrope, balancing the weight of centuries-old traditions with the realities of modern media scrutiny. Did Queen Saleha just rewrite royal history by giving her title to Princess Muneerah? The news has sparked endless speculation, with many wondering if this is a bold new chapter for the monarchy or something even more dramatic. Why would she make such a move, and how is Princess Muneerah handling the attention? Don't miss this. The story behind these rumors will leave you completely captivated. Cultural significance of royal titles. Royal titles in Bruneian society are so much more than just fancy designations. They're like living pieces of history that weave together centuries of tradition, culture, and social order. The intricate use of styles, titles, and honorifics in the Malay language is not just a formality. It's a fundamental part of Brunei's identity, a way for its people to keep their culture alive in the modern world. Now, let's take a closer look at what these titles mean. Brunei is unique. It stands tall as the only remaining Malay Islamic monarchy, which is a pretty big deal. The Sultan's lineage dates all the way back to 1405, and with that comes a set of traditions and protocols that have been lovingly preserved over centuries. And these royal titles, they're not just for show, they symbolize a whole hierarchy of respect and order. For instance, the Sultan himself is referred to as Kabawa Duli Yang Maha Mulia, KDYMM, a title so grand it practically announces, "Here comes the ruler." Then there are the Penggirans, who are essentially the royal bloodline, and their children, who get their own titles, a Wangku for the sons and Dayangku for the daughters. Isn't it fascinating how even the tiniest detail in these titles carries so much weight? But here's the thing, these titles aren't just relics from the past. They still play a massive role in modern Brunei. It's not just about pomp and ceremony. The monarchy wields real power, and its influence is felt everywhere, from governance to daily life. Did you know that the country's constitution actually requires all ministers to be Malay and Muslim unless the Sultan himself gives permission otherwise? That's how deeply intertwined these titles and traditions are with the country's political framework. And the philosophy that ties it all together is something called Melayu Islam Baraja, MIB. The social impact of these titles is just as compelling. In Brunei, respecting the hierarchy is a big deal, but getting someone's title wrong isn't just a small mistake. It's a serious faux pas that could raise a few eyebrows, or more. These titles shape public perception in a way that's almost hard to believe. For example, Bruneians often refer to themselves as the spoiled children of the Sultan. Isn't that such a proud and endearing way to put it? And it's not just words. The monarchy is genuinely admired because it provides stability and tangible social benefits. Title holders, in particular, carry a heavy responsibility. They're seen as the guardians of the country's rich cultural heritage. But it's not all formality. These titles help maintain social order and even contribute to the country's efficiency. Brunei has one of the region's lowest corruption rates, and many believe the traditional hierarchy plays a part in keeping things in check. They connect the past, present, and future, keeping the nation's culture vibrant and its society stable. Debunking common misconceptions. People hear about all these glamorous titles and royal protocols, and naturally their imaginations run wild. But the reality is far more structured, grounded in age-old traditions and modern constitutional laws. So, what's the deal with all these misconceptions swirling around Queen Saleha, the Sultan, and royal title transfers? Let's clear the air and get into the nitty-gritty details, shall we? First off, let's address these popular myths. Because, wow, are there plenty of them. Have you ever noticed how people love to assume that royal titles can be casually passed around like family heirlooms? Oh, today, I'll just make my cousin the next king. No, absolutely not. That's myth number one right there. The idea that royal titles can be freely transferred between family members. The truth? Royal titles in Brunei are bound by strict succession laws outlined in the constitution. The Sultan has the final say, but even he follows established protocols that ensure titles remain within the parameters of tradition and legality. It's not some whimsical decision-making process, it's more like a meticulously maintained rulebook. And then there's myth number two, which might surprise some people, the notion that women can inherit the throne in Brunei. Sounds progressive, doesn't it? But no, not in Brunei's case. In over 650 years of history, not a single female ruler has ever taken the throne. That's not to say women in Brunei don't play vital roles in society. They absolutely do, and they're thriving in areas like education, healthcare, and politics. But when it comes to succession, the Constitution has made it clear it's a male-only club. Kind of wild when you think about how much the world has changed, but Brunei has held firm to its traditions here.